Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Irfan Ali bin Zainuddin. My matrix number is AA200657. I am from section 6. So today I will present to you about the first chapter of System Analysis and Design, which is the Systems Development Environment. So first of all, what is Information System Analysis and Design? So before we go to the full definition, I will go by words. System is a set of things that working together as a part of a mechanism or an interconnecting network of a complex organization. Analysis is a detailed examination of the elements or structure of something. The design is a plan or drawing produced to show the look and function or workings of a building, garment, or other object before it is made. So for the full definition of information system analysis and design, it is an interconnected set of information resources to manage data for particular organization. The system includes hardware, software, communication, data, and application for production information according to the need of an organization. It is a method used by a company to create and maintain information system that perform basic business functions such as keeping track of customer names and addresses, processing orders, and paying employees. So the next part is System Development Lifecycle or called SDLC. So in SDLC, there are four main phases. The first phase is System Planning and Selection. The second phase is System Analysis. The third phase is System Design. And lastly is System Implementation. So for the first phase, System Planning and Selection, in this phase, the team is making the plan before developing system like feasibility studies, project schedule, team role, and goals. Next is phase 2, System Analysis. For this phase, information is gathered to be analyzed to see what is the requirements to develop the new system. Next phase is System Designs. The design phase is to create interface like application, network, database, and system according to the requirement. And lastly, the system implementation phase. The last phase is to put all the design, modules, function into a system so that the team can detect any defects or error of the new system. The next part is the core concept of system analysis and design. So in system analysis and design, the major goal is to improve organizational systems by developing or acquiring application software and training employees in its use. System analysis and design can be applied to various things like application software, system, supports organizational functions or processes. In this case, we are talking about system. So in systems, it includes many things like hardware and system software, documentation and training materials, job roles associated with the system, controls to prevent theft or fraud, and the people who use the software to perform their jobs. So now we will talk about the components of a computer-based information system application. First one is hardware, second one is software, third is controls, fourth is user, fifth is specific job rules, and sixth is documentation and training manuals. So first of all, hardware. What is hardware? Quite simply, computer hardware is the physical components that a computer system requires to function. It encompasses everything with a circuit board that operates within a PC or laptop like the motherboard, graphic cards, central processing unit, power supply, and so on. Next one is software. Software is the programs and routines for a computer or the program material for an electronic device which make it run. Third is controls. A control system manages commands directs or regulates the behavior of other device or system. It also manages the security of a system. The fourth is user. User is basically people who will use the system and bring profit to the developers. They are important as the system will meet their requirements, and they also give crucial feedbacks to upgrade the system. Next one is specific job roles. Specific job roles, it covers subtasks, essential function, and detailed job duties. It involves huge amount of detail such as what an employee needs to do, like how it is to be done, and what are the performance standards of the developed system. So lastly is documentation and training manuals. Documentation is a process of recording the information for any reference or operational purpose. It helps users, managers, and IT staff who require it. It is important that a prepared document must be updated on regular basis to trace the progress of the system easily. A training manual is a set of instructions that improve the quality with which a job, process, or task is performed. Companies use training manuals with in-person, remote, on-demand, and just-in-time training.
In a software engineering process, there is a cycle which consists of three elements, which is methodologies, tools, and techniques, which are related. Besides that, we are going to talk about the system. A system is an interrelated set of business procedures used within one business unit, working together for a purpose. So basically, a system has 9 characteristics, and besides that, a system exists within an environment, and the boundary separates a system from the environment. Moving on to the characteristic of a system, there is 9 characteristic, just like I said before, which is first is the components, interrelated components, boundary, purpose, environment, interfaces, constraints, input, and lastly is output. Okay, we are going to talk about important system concept. The first thing we need to know is the decomposition. The decomposition is a process of breaking down a system into smaller components. It allows the system analyst to break a system into small, manageable and understandable subsystem. Besides that, it focuses on one area at a time without interference from other areas. Moreover, it concentrates on components pertinent to one group of users without confusing users with unnecessary details. And lastly, it pulls different components at independent times and have the help of different analysts. Next, the second element is the modularity. So modularity is a process of dividing a system into modules of a relatively uniform size. So in a simple word, the modules simplify the system design. Next element is coupling. Coupling is meaning is subsystem that are dependent upon each other are coupled. Next is cohesion. The meaning is the extent to which a subsystem performs a single function. And lastly is system integration. System integration basically allows hardware and software from different vendors to work together. Besides that, it enables procedural language system to work with visual programming systems. And lastly, visual programming environment uses client-server model. Next, we are going to talk about your role in systems development. So, your role in system development is to study problems and needs of an organization, usually in business. Next is your role is to determine the best approach to improve organization through the use of people, methods, and information technology. Lastly, it is to help system users and managers define their requirements for new or enhanced information system. So lastly, I am going to talk about the developing information systems and the system development lifecycle. Basically, it consists of two elements, which is system development methodology and system development lifecycle. For system development methodology, a standard process followed in an organization to conduct all the steps necessary to analyze, design, implement, and maintain information system. Which means in system development methodology, there are steps that needs to be taken. Moving on to system development lifecycle. The meaning of system development lifecycle is series of steps used to manage the phases of development for an information system. So there are 4 phases in system development lifecycle, which are planning and selection, analysis, design, implementation, and operation. So we are going to talk about the phases. The phases are actually not necessarily sequential, and besides that, each phase has a specific outcome and deliverable. And lastly, every company customizes the lifecycle model to its individual needs. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Shazrul. For my part, I will talk about phase of system development lifecycle. There are several phases in system development lifecycle, well known as SDLC, which is first planning, second analysis, third design, and the last is implementation. Okay, so for the first phase is planning. The planning phase will determine project goals and establish a high-level plan for the intended project. Planning is by definition a fundamental and critical organizational phase. The 3 primary activities involved in the planning phase are as follows. First is identification of the system for development. Second is feasibility assessment, and for the third, creation of project plan. For the second phase is analysis. So in analysis phase, we need to study of current procedures and information system to determine requirements, generate alternative design, compare alternative design, and recommend best alternative to create new system. Third phase is design phase. So in the design phase, there are 2 types of design, which is logical design and physical design. So the logical design is to concentrate on business aspect of the system, while physical design is on technical specification. And for the last phase is implementation. So in this phase, developers start coding according to the requirements and the design discussed in previous phase. Database admin create the necessary data in the database. Front-end developers create the necessary interface and GUI to interact with the back end, all based on guidelines and procedures defined by the company. Developers also write unit tests for each component to test the new code that they have been written. Review each other codes, create builds, and deploy software to an environment. This cycle of development is repeated until the requirements are met. And for the next part is alternative approaches to the development. There are 6 alternatives. For the first is prototyping, computer-assisted software engineering or well-known CASE, joint application design JAD, rapid application development RAD, participatory design PD, and for the last is agile methodology. So for the first is prototyping. What is prototyping? Prototyping is a foundational process for developing a new system or product through the physical representation of an idea. Prototyping helps designers turn a concept into a functioning item. Using basic sketches and rough materials, the prototype may be a simple drawing or rough model that help innovators determine what they need to improve and fit in their design. Prototyping also offers a way to solve problems and try out new design before moving to the stage of a finished product. There are several advantages for the prototyping, which is users are involved in the design and to capture requirement in concrete form. For the next is computer assisted software engineering or well known as CASE. So CASE is the domain of software tools used to design and implement applications. CASE tools are similar to were partly inspired by computer-aided design (CAD) tools used for designing hardware products. CASE tools are used for developing high-quality, defect-free, and maintainable software. CASE software is often associated with methods for development of information systems together with automated tools that can be used in software development process. There are several general types of CASE tools. First is diagramming tools, computer display and report generators, analysis tools, repository, documentation generators, and lastly code generator. And for the third is JAD or joint application design. So JAD is a process used in the lifecycle area of the dynamic system development method to collect business requirements while developing new information system for a company. The JAD process also includes approaches for enhancing user participation, expediting development, and improving the quality of specification. It consists of a workshop where knowledge workers and IT specialists meet sometime for several days to define and review the business requirement for the system. And after that is the alternative of rapid application development or RAD. RAD is a form of agile software development methodology that prioritizes rapid prototype releases and iteration. Unlike the waterfall method, RAD emphasizes the use of software and user feedback over strict planning and requirement recording. Utilize prototyping to delay producing system design until after user requirements are clear. For the fifth alternative is participatory design. So the participatory design or PD is an approach to design attempting to actively involve all stakeholders in the design process to help ensure the result meets their needs and is usable. Participatory design or PD is an approach which is focused on processes and procedure of design and is not a design style. And for the last alternative is agile methodology. For the agile methodology is a way to manage a project by breaking it up into several phases. It involves constant collaboration with stakeholders and continuous improvement at every stage. Once the work begins, teams cycle through a process of planning, executing, and evaluating. Continuous collaboration is vital, both with team members and project stakeholders. For the agile methodologies, focus on adaptive methodologies, people instead of roles, and self-adaptive development process. That's all from me. Thank you.